Raw review where... What was the thing you said?
Where Raw was meh, and the points don't matter.
What he said. Because it was...
Meh.
It was Raw.
I'm going to be real. I thought it was slightly above the average Raw.
I mean, it wasn't bad.
No, and that was the other thing. Is like, it's on the rare case where I didn't have a lot to complain about.
Yeah.
My number one complaint is that we didn't need to watch Goldberg's promo 4 times.
Yeah.
The once, maybe like once, because it was open the show, which is cool, good opener, got the energy high in the arena, and then like once in the 3rd hour.
You know, I'm okay with it being once, like, every hour. Like, that's fine, but 4 times, four times, especially with how much of it they played. Yeah. Like, they literally played, like, the very end of it all 3 times after the actual promo.
Yeah.
But he's going to be in the Royal Rumble. Yay.
All right.
So other
the
things
Royal
we
Rumble
didn't...
just got old.
Other things we didn't really need... We didn't need Naked Enzo.
That was weird.
That was a really weird reason to put Enzo in a match against Rusev.
Yeah, it was.
That Enzo...
got squashed.
Obviously was going to lose.
And then, like, the other part that got me is that, like, after that, they had Enzo and Cass in the WWE shop commercial.
Yeah.
Which totally breaks WWE's, like, character stream of conscious if Enzo just got destroyed and all of a sudden he's going to be in this commercial that's supposed to look like it's being done live.
Yeah.
But, is now all of a sudden fine and, like, super hyped and super energized.
Yeah.
That should have at least come first.
Yeah.
Between being naked and getting his ass kicked.
Yes. We had some hype for 205 Live, one of which was Cedric Alexander defeating Arya Daivari. And then we also had a triple threat match to determine who would face Brian Kendrick in the first episode of 205 Live next Tuesday on the WWE Network. We had Rich Swann.
Immediately following SmackDown.
Yes. We had Rich Swann versus TJ Perkins versus Noam Dar. That was a killer match. That was, probably my favorite match of the show.
Yeah, it's the most original match of the night.
Yeah, absolutely. And just it was like the fact that Noam Dar is new to this, and we haven't really seen Perkins versus Swann since the Cruiserweight division's been a thing. It was a nice change up of the usual suspects.
Yeah, yeah. Having a new guy, even though the Cruiserweight division hasn't been around very long, having a new guy to throw in there,
yeah,
even this early on, is like, oh, neat. New combinations.
Yeah.
New things we haven't seen before.
And I gotta say, I'm starting to warm up to Noam Dar. I wasn't totally impressed during the Cruiserweight Classic, but I'm starting to dig him. I still don't understand why he zips up his thing when he gets to the top of the ramp and then just takes the thing off when he wrestles. That doesn't make sense to me, but I'll let that slide. We did have, a great match, lots of cool spots, and the end was very interesting because we had, first off, Noam Dar getting kicked right in the fucking head.
Oh my god.
Splitting his eye.
Which was right next to his eye.
Which was gnarly. But,
which I know from experience, that is a scary place to get a foot.
To get a foot?
Yeah, like in the eye region.
Oh, you've actually had a foot in the eye? Oh yeah, you had your black eye. That was
like a couple weeks. That was like 2 weeks ago.
That was a toe to the eye.
That was toes directly in my eye.
No thanks, man.
I have like nerve damage in my head. This whole region of my head has nerve damage because of that.
Don't try this at home, kids. But we had Rich Swann pick up the win after TJ Perkins had the knee bar locked on Noam Dar. Rich Swann goes for a big splash on TJ Perkins, which lets go of the hold. Noam Dar rolls away, clutching the leg, and then TJ Perkins stands up and gets a rich kick, and Rich Swann picks up the win, and he will face Brian Kendrick next Tuesday on the WWE Network on 205 Live.
It definitely seemed like that's where they were going to progress regardless of whether they were going to have a #1 contenders match or not.
Yeah.
That, like, Rich Swann, they hyped him up because already, like, even like last week, they talked about the fact that he had two victories over Brian Kendrick.
Yes, yeah. That was another. Raw itself was very predictable. Yeah. They didn't leave a lot to the imagination.
Yeah, like it wasn't a bad Raw, but the fact that you could like tell what was coming 2 steps ahead of when it happened,
exactly,
took that if you take away the complete element of surprise, you're left with like okay, yeah, fundamentally the matches were good. Breaking them down, the promos weren't bad. The segments were funny. That segment was funny. That segment was well done. That match was well put together. But I wasn't invested because there was nothing making me go ooh ah like.
Yeah. Okay. We'll go back to the beginning because the only match where I was actually worried as to what was going to happen was when Sheamus and Cesaro, which they now have a team name according to the New Day, it is Cesaro. That's what Big E called him.
He shipped them?
Yeah. The New Day. I'm not gonna try and tell the New Day no. I can't. I don't know them.
I want to call him Claudio Shaughnessy.
That's fancy. It's fancy AF for a team like that.
Well, I'm just taking first name, real name, Claudio Castagnoli.
Yeah.
Sheamus O'Shaughnessy.
Yeah.
And if you just take the O from Claudio and the O from O'Shaughnessy and you make them one O, like Sheamus's fucking crotch on his tights, Claudio O'Shaughnessy.
All right. Well, Claudio O'Shaughnessy.
Claudio O'Shaughnessy versus Dalton Cabasel.
Colton Cabasel.
Colton Cabasel.
Claudio O'Shaughnessy getting their tag team title match since they were the sole survivors last night at Survivor Series.
In what I will say was the most surprising portion of the entire pay-per-view.
Yeah. You can go back and check out our Survivor Series review.
Tore the house down at like the last segment.
So a well-deserved title match, but I was really worried because I don't think that a team like Sheamus and Cesaro should be able to do what none of the other established teams have been able to do against the New Day, and that's dethrone them as tag team champions, especially when they only have 3 weeks before they beat Demolition's record.
Yeah. I'm going to be honest here. I'm going to have no problem whatsoever with Sheamus and Cesaro beating the New Day as long as it happens after they break Demolition's record. Like, at this point, especially after the Survivor Series match, again, there are no teams on the Raw roster at this point that I would be disappointed if they beat the New Day.
Yeah. I just my thing is if a team is going to win the championships, it needs to be a tag team. It's not 2 guys that are being forced to tag together. It needs to be a legit tag team, which is why if it was going to happen, it should have been the club like months ago.
Yeah, but what I like though is we're establishing that Cesaro and Sheamus are becoming a tag team.
Not really. They're only a team because Mick Foley told them to be a team.
Yeah, but now they're embracing it, they're moving forward, and they're trying to win the tag titles. So...
Kinda. There's still a lot of dissension between the 2 of them. Though,
they play off of each other extremely well, though.
Well, they're 2 big dudes.
I'm just talking gimmick-wise, like... The fact that they do the whole Sheamus tries to get the crowd going, and then Cesaro just raises his arms, and the crowd fucking pops, and Sheamus gets all pissy. It works.
Yeah, they worked decently well in this.
Because what it's gonna do, no matter who it is at this point, because the New Day is the most established team that's on the Raw roster. If you count specifically only WWE stuff, if you go outside the club, is the only one that holds a candle to the New Day. Because they were established over in New Japan. But Enzo and Cass never won the titles on NXT. Golden Truth, 2 guys who are very well established as singles wrestlers, never had a good run as a tag team yet. The Shining Stars,
who are just now becoming prevalent.
Who like really tried to shine hard at Survivor Series. And then who else? Cesaro and Sheamus, who are 2 talented dudes who play off of each other really well. All that's going to do is when they beat the New Day, it's going to put that next team on, you know, the next level up.
Yeah.
And, which needs to happen because at this point, there isn't anybody else. Because the New Day's already beaten everyone now.
Yeah. The end of this match is exciting, and it made me feel better. Because we did have...
They need to borrow a team from SmackDown. I'm just looking at it. I'm like, Raw legitimately has like 5 or 6 teams. SmackDown had enough to have qualifying matches for each spot on the fucking Team SmackDown.
That's true.
They have 9 tag teams on SmackDown, 5 on Raw. 6, I guess.
Unless we're forgetting someone. If we're forgetting someone, post in the comments. But Cesaro ends up getting the sharpshooter on Kofi, and Big E is trying to get in to break up the sharpshooter, gets a bro kick from Sheamus. I'm freaking out at this point.
This is very similar to the ending of the Survivor Series match.
Yeah, and so before Kofi has a chance to tap out, Xavier Woods gets up on the apron, starts playing the trombone and getting the ref's attention, and it's at that point you see Kofi start tapping out. Cesaro gets up out of the hold to try and get Xavier Woods to jump back down. He ends up getting rolled up by Kofi Kingston, and as Sheamus gets in to try and break up the small package, Xavier Woods actually grabs his ankle and holds him during the 2 count and lets go and doesn't give Sheamus enough time to break it up. So the New Day retains in a very shady fashion.
Yeah, it's the advantage of having the third man at ring.
Yeah.
Ringside.
Side.
The advantage of having the third man at ringside, which I call the third advantage.
The third. I like it. Then we also found out that we'll be apparently we're gonna get a New Day defense every single week until this is finally broken.
I think that's what we're trying to do. I think they're trying to make it seem like
it's
the
more in
jeopardy.
Yeah. Because we had a qualifying match between the Golden Truth and the Club, where the Club ended up beating Golden Truth, and they will face the New Day next week on Monday Night Raw.
And god damn it, Goldust looking slick again.
You know, I appreciated the crowd because they were doing the Goldust. So he got in there, got a little more fancy than he's usually able to do, but eventually in a losing effort, as is the story of the Golden Truth. And then speaking of championship matches next week...
is a losing effort.
Yes. Speaking of championship matches next week, we're going to be getting, once again, Charlotte versus Sasha for the Women's Championship. This was out of a promo that was how good Charlotte is and everyone else on Raw, or Raw's women team sucked. Sasha had something to say. Nia had something to say. Bayley came out to fight. Dana Brooke looked like a moron until she got punched in the face by Sasha. And then we had an impromptu tag team match, which was won by Bayley and Sasha over Nia Jax and Charlotte. Double suplex ended up taking out Nia Jax, and a roll-up into the bank statement made Charlotte tap out.
Yeah.
So Charlotte is now looking to beat Sasha, because at Hell in a Cell was Sasha's hometown. Next week, they're in Charlotte, North Carolina. Therefore, it is Charlotte's hometown. She's looking to claim both cities as wins for her.
This is the Edge John Cena moment.
They did do that.
Edge and Cena had that spot where Edge beat Cena in Boston.
I remember that.
And then Cena beat Edge in the TLC match in Toronto.
Yep. I remember that. Yeah. Yeah, it's Charlotte's going to win next week, though.
You never know. Sasha only wins on Raw.
I'm pretty sure I know.
It's just, she's going to win so Charlotte can win at the next pay-per-view.
Just don't get my hopes up. We had.
I'm not. I'm telling you that Sasha's going to win specifically so she can lose again. That shouldn't be getting your hopes up.
It is. It gets my hopes up that Sasha is going to have a championship run, and then they take it away in 2 weeks. So it's why give her something if you're just going to take it away in 2 weeks? It's not necessary. Just stop. Sami Zayn being the whipping boy of Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
You didn't win your match, so we're going to punish you by putting you in a match against Braun Strowman.
Neither did Team Raw. And they seemed to get away pretty scot-free.
Yeah.
Getting, matches and shit that they wanted.
Yeah. And, like, did you not watch that Maurice was ringing the bell and screwing Sammy over?
Well, and that's the other part. That was the one... That might be one of the things that perturbed me from this Monday Night Raw, is during Survivor Series, in a backstage segment with Stephanie and Mick, they talked about not being disappointed in Sami Zayn's performance because it wasn't his fault that he lost the match.
I didn't even remember. Consistency, you motherfuckers.
They just needed an excuse for Braun Strowman to destroy Sami Zayn.
And that's exactly what it was. And Mick didn't want to make the match. It was Stephanie's... Stephanie wanted the match to happen. And so Mick, like, was really upset, and then watching Braun Strowman just completely decimate Sami actually made the referee stop the match. Yeah. So Braun Strowman won.
Yeah, Sami Zayn was stuck upside down in the Tree of Woe.
Yeah. So...
And dear God knows what Braun was going to try and do to him.
Yeah, so Braun Strowman wins via Mick Foley stoppage. Not even referee stoppage.
Yeah, by general manager stoppage.
Yeah. And then...
He's going to go for, like, a running fucking headbutt to the dick.
He was going to go for something. So our one segment that led into our main event was the highlight reel. We had a very upset Chris Jericho. He wanted to break down the reason why Team Raw fell apart.
It's going to be the autopsy of Team Raw.
The autopsy of Team Raw, finding out what was the cause for Team Raw to lose at Survivor Series. And he talks about how the breaking moment was when the list of Jericho was used as a weapon. Owens automatically knows like where this is going, so he comes out to defend himself, saying, "I used it to save you from getting hit with the Styles Clash." And then, how did you repay that save? You got upset with the list. You turn around, you got RKO, and you got eliminated.
It was a waste of friendship.
Yeah, and they had some just really angry words. Jericho,
yeah, like toast.
Jericho was upset that Owens didn't remember when he upgraded the Jeritron 5000 to the Jeritron 6500.
Yeah.
There was a lot of things that friends should have known, but the one thing they both knew was who ruined it for Monday Night Raw, who lost it for Monday Night Raw. Roman Reigns. And then it's a whole ruse, and they hug each other, and they pick each other's stuff up, and
then it was Owens. The Roman Reigns is almost as bad as Seth Rollins.
Yeah, Owens talking about... Roman didn't even try and get in to see. He's just over there with conditioner pouring out of his head. And what's even worse...
with his conditioner brother.
His conditioner brother, Seth Rollins. And it's just fantastic stuff. Rollins comes out and goes, okay, you know what?
They trolled the crowd.
It was so good.
Hard.
Because the crowd was, like, anticipating this, like, explosion of Jericho, and then they just fucking swerve. It was so good.
It's one of those moments because we know, like, in the fabric of WWE, Jericho and Kevin Owens will not last. They cannot last.
No, absolutely not.
WWE breaks up every good pairing.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
makes them turn on each other. And so the fact that they've been going for months now.
They've been going since SummerSlam. Before SummerSlam.
Everyone's anticipating at this point because of how fast WWE progresses nowadays. Yeah. Like, it's gonna happen.
Their final break will probably be at the Royal Rumble.
I imagine so. I think if Kevin Owens isn't the Universal Champion come the Rumble, I think Jericho's going to eliminate him from the Rumble.
I think Owens is still going to be Universal Champion at the Rumble, but it's going to be like Jericho gloating that he's going to like win the Rumble and go for the championship, and Owens is going to like try and take him out before he gets a chance to try and win that spot. That's my thought. But yeah, Seth Rollins comes out and then talks about how Stephanie said, well, if you join this team, you'll get championship or you'll get rewards down the line. And so now Seth Rollins wants a Universal title shot, and he wants it tonight. Jericho started beating up on Seth Rollins, trying to like eliminate that idea. Roman Reigns comes down, makes the save, and then Mick Foley makes it official that the main event, with Jericho and Roman Reigns barred at ringside, we will have a no disqualification match: Seth Rollins versus Kevin Owens for the Universal Championship. And it was a fun no DQ match.
Yeah.
Because I appreciate it when no DQ matches go outside of the confines of a ringside. Like, go away from the ring, like actually out into the crowd, and doing stuff like Evolution and the Shield did, because Seth ended up going from one of the seat sections, like one of those big exit sections or whatever, and did a crossbody onto Kevin Owens out in the midst of the crowd. And it's fun to watch just a chaotic hardcore match every once in a while. But when you ban people from ringside, and those people come to ringside, doesn't that usually mean that someone gets in trouble and, like, I don't know, you don't go off the air with the person who went against the ruling as the I don't understand this. Because this was the most blatant. Like, the referee even saw it. This is the only rule that was put in place for this match, and it was blatantly broken.
Yeah, and I feel like there will be repercussions for that next week on Raw.
I'm sure there will be,
but at the same time, I feel like the referee's hands are tied to a degree because it is, for all intents and purposes, no disqualification.
Right.
The rule was that they weren't allowed at ringside. The rule wasn't if they show up at ringside, the match is going to end, or they're going to throw it out, or they get disqualified.
For me, it's one of those things. It's like, okay, so if they make the ruling like, it's a regular match, but if you try and get yourself disqualified or get yourself counted out, you lose the championship. Yeah. Like, I feel like it should be in the same vein of that. It's like, this is the one thing you're not supposed to do. This is absolutely against the rules. There should be immediate ramifications for breaking that one specific rule.
Yeah.
And that's what bugs me the most. It was clever the way it was done. I feel like banning them from ringside wasn't even necessary at this point. You could have had, like, I don't know, have Roman Reigns get taken out somehow, or, like, escort Roman Reigns away from the building or something. And do it with both of them, and then Jericho comes back. Jericho ended up grabbing Seth Rollins while he's in a Sin Cara mask, and beating
a Nakamura hoodie.
Yeah, and a Nakamura hoodie, beating the crap out of him, and
from the crowd,
and then pretty much fed him to Kevin Owens. Owens hits the apron pop-up powerbomb, tosses him back in, pins, and retains the championship.
Feed him to Kevin Owens because he ate a pedigree on the outside.
Yeah, the beatdown itself was enough time for Owens to kind of get his wits about him. So yeah, Jericho gets dropped with a pedigree, but then Owens is right there, hits the powerbomb, pins him, and then it's like, okay, I was expecting Mick Foley to come out and be like, no, I specifically said they're banned from ringside, restart the match. I was expecting Triple H to come out because that's got to be a fucking WrestleMania match. Rollins and Triple H has to be somewhere in the pipeline, I would imagine. And the fact that NXT, everyone from NXT was still in Toronto, so yeah, I would imagine Triple H was there. But it didn't happen. We just had I can't believe they broke the rules.
Yeah.
Alright.
And it was one of those moments too where all the commentators were on the same page.
Yeah.
All of them, even they're yeah, I know.
Even Corey.
We never agree, but I'm with you on this one.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a strange occurrence when Corey Graves agrees with both Michael Cole and Byron Saxton.
Yeah.
That means you did something wrong, Jericho. You just don't do that. But yeah,
he invented that.
That was Raw. Couple of okay things.
Wasn't the worst. Wasn't the best.
It was
pretty
neutral.
I give it a C.
Yeah.
It was great in it. Didn't fail, but it didn't go above the standard that it needed to pass.
It got a participation trophy.
Oh.
I'm going to give it a participation trophy.
This Raw was a millennial.
It was a millennial Raw. Yeah.
This Raw tries to boycott Donald Trump by going to Starbucks and ordering a drink and telling them his name is Trump.
That's the thing.
It's a thing.
Well,
guess what? The people you do that is fucking stupid. Starbucks is still getting money.
I hate politics.
It's a big ass. It's the exact opposite of what they're trying to do. Because Starbucks, again, is a giant ass corporation who doesn't need more money.
Thanks for watching.
Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe.
Click all the links down in the description. You see all of our social medias.
We have a lot of social medias.
There's also a podcast link. You can go to SoundCloud. You listen to this review along with our indie news, SmackDown Rundown, and the midweek wrap-up, all in podcast form.
Let us know in the comments below what you think of the new setup.
It's kind of weird for us.
AKA, we're just sitting on opposite sides of the couch.
Yeah, we've literally switched like 4 things, and that's about it. Also, special videos this week. You can check out our reviews of NXT TakeOver Toronto and Survivor Series. Both in-depth, quite long, but we had some good stuff to say about both shows.
Yeah, they're both pretty long shows.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're going to be having some predictions coming up pretty soon for
TLC.
TLC. That'll be next week.
And then, like
along
2 weeks
with...
later is Roadblock.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, so...
And then like 3 weeks after that is Rumble.
Fuck. You can also check out our other channel, Reasonable Wrestling Fans. That's Reasonable with a W.
Like wrestling.
Yeah. Where you get all of the special types of videos. You get our unboxing videos, reaction videos, punishment videos, which a new one will be popping up. We might double up just with how close TLC is, but you're gonna see me getting chopped by somebody soon.
A professional wrestler.
Yay. Fuck. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you at whatever video you decide to watch next. Fuck mediocrity.
Fuck. Fuck.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Jim Cornette. You fat, glasses-wearing southern prick.
Alright.
You goddamn tennis racket. Dipshitty.